Hello there, Libra. Thank you so much for stopping by for your weekly tarot video forecast. This forecast is for the week of April the 11th through April 17th. We are going to pull one card for each sign, for each day. So we'll take a peek at the highlights for each day, possibly get a picture of some themes for the week. And while I'm shuffling, I just want to remind you guys this is a general reading, which means only some of it is going to apply to, well, let's just say not everything is going to apply to everyone. Most of it should apply to most of you. If you would like to get a private reading where all the energy that I'm looking at fits you exactly, then you can find all my contact information on the website right there above my head. And if you want to sign up for my newsletter, that's the place to do that as well. All kinds of goodies in my newsletter. Let's see now. Let's get into your cards. Who are we doing? This is Virgo, right? Or excuse me, Libra right now. We just finished Virgo. Okay, so Libra, Saturday, 4 of Cups showing up here. And Sunday, 8 of Swords. Okay. Libras, I hope you're watching this before the weekend starts because we need to do a little adjusting and a little tweaking on your weekend because we've got a couple of cards that talk about basically sort of mental and emotional bleh. All right. And we don't like bleh because it just brings in more bleh. So we want to bring in good stuff. All right. So let's talk about this. Saturday, you have the 4 of Cups. This talks about the idea of having a pity party. Poor me, poor me, poor me. Now, this card does actually say there has been something here that's disappointing. It's not that your pity party is unjustified. Please don't get me wrong. It's justified. Something disappointing happened. But the thing is, as long as we stay in this pity party energy where we're looking down, we're feeling bad, all we can think about is the disappointment. We can't look up and we can't see any opportunities that came out of that disappointment. We can't see the silver lining behind the clouds. Okay, so really important when you catch yourself going into this pity party energy to try to pull yourself out of it. Put on some music and dance a little bit. If you have to write something out in a journal about this disappointment to get it out of you so you're not just carrying this around, do that. But do something to shake this pity party if you can, because pity parties are never productive. They are counterproductive. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. That's what I'm saying about that. Now, it looks to me like this pity party energy is probably leading us into what's happening Sunday. So I'm hopeful that if we break the pity party energy on Saturday, Sunday can be much better than what I'm showing on this card. But for right now, the energy is saying that Sunday looks like this. It's the 8 of Swords. Now, with the 8 of Swords talks about second guessing yourself, rethinking things, and trying to make any kind of decision that you're trying to make. You're just thinking in circles about it. Or maybe you're even thinking in circles about something that already happened and you can't change it. But you're stuck, you're trapped. All you can think about is that thing. That's why I think this is probably tying into our pity party energy from Saturday. That's why I'm hopeful if we can break the pity party Saturday, we don't even get into this second guessing and double thinking and thinking in circles mode on Sunday. All right. Now, if you do find yourself in that energy on Sunday anyway, then to deal with that energy, the best thing to do is to sort of talk about the situation that has you second guessing yourself to somebody who is objective outside the situation. And if you can't find somebody like that that will talk to you, then imagine having that conversation with the mailman or somebody, the paper boy, somebody. Is there a paper boy still today? I wonder. Is everything so digital we don't have paper boys anymore? Anyway, find somebody objective. And just, even if you just have to imagine the conversation, sometimes just hearing the words that you would say to somebody who is completely outside the situation that knows nothing, as you're explaining the whole setup, sometimes just as you're hearing those words come out of your mouth, you're realizing, oh my gosh, because it's giving you a chance to see the situation through somebody objective's eyes rather than right in the middle of the tangle of whatever's going on. Okay. So you could either have an objective situation or a conversation with somebody, mentally in your mind, or you can actually find a person who's willing to be your sounding board, if you're lucky. Either way, that's going to break you out of this overthinking and second guessing. It's going to show you some clarity. Because really, honestly, when this card comes up, the only thing that's really limiting us is our own perspective. We are blocking ourselves. But if we can open up our perspective a little bit and see through a wider lens, then we can see our solution. Okay? So, and that's not just a Libra thing, that's true for anybody and everybody. Libras are kind of known for overthinking, but still, that advice holds true for anybody. A lot of people overthink. Now, let's look at the week. We spent a lot of time on the weekend, y'all. Let's look at the week. So, Monday we have the Empress in reverse. Tuesday we have the Chariot in reverse. Wednesday we have the Magician. Yay! Looks like you're finally breaking that energy. Those of you who are here at this video, you have no reason to wait till Wednesday to break the energy that we have leading up to Wednesday, because you've got the advice now. You know what to do. Let's look at Thursday. You have the Moon card. And Friday, Wheel of Fortune, baby. Yeah. All right. So let's talk about Monday and Tuesday a little bit before we get to the Magician on Wednesday. We're just doing advice with every card right now. All right, so Empress coming up in reverse. What's going on here? Well, we're manifesting exactly the opposite of what we want. Why are we doing that? We're doing that because we are focusing on what we're afraid of or what we don't want. We have to stop that. I know it's really easy for me to say, stop that. Here's how we stop that, okay? So if you catch yourself focusing on what you don't want, what you're afraid of, what you're nervous about, you don't want to fight that thought, because that just adds energy to the thought and it brings that to manifestation that much quicker. So instead of fighting that thought, you want to acknowledge that thought. You want to say you have a terrible thought, and then you just stop. You catch yourself. You're like, "Oh, I don't want that. Why am I thinking along those paths?" And so then you just say, "Well, that may be." And you can say it out loud if you want. People might think you're crazy, or you can say it inside your head. It depends on if anybody's around, I guess. But you could say, "Well, that may happen." And then add the 3 magic words, "But what if?" And then after "but what if," then you just end the story the way you want the story to end. But what if everything works out exactly, perfectly, just even better than I could have imagined? And I go to sleep that night so happy I'm just on cloud 9 because the whole day went so well. Something like that. Whatever it is that is your ideal. You want to just say, yep, that could happen, but what if? And then whatever is your ideal. Now, it doesn't necessarily make things manifest like bada bing, bada bang, but you would be surprised how quickly you'll start to see manifestations that are going in the way that you want them to go rather than in the way that you were dreading for them to go. It makes a big difference, and it does make a difference pretty quickly. All right, so there's Monday. We've talked about Monday. Let's talk about Tuesday. Tuesday, we do have the Chariot showing up in reverse. This could be that you have some travel plans on Tuesday. I think you should expect that something is going to come up that they're going to be delayed, or you may have to reschedule. That's all I'm going to say there. That's not terrible. Just be prepared for the backup plan. That's what I have to say. Now, and it doesn't mean you won't go out the same day. Like if you're planning on traveling that day, you might still be able to travel that day, but maybe a little bit later or something like that could happen easily. Look at Wednesday. This is my favorite day for y'all, the Magician here. This is when you are manifesting exactly what you want with the things that you have at your disposal. We like that. And then Thursday, we have the Moon card. And so the moon card is an interesting one. It just says that there are things going on behind the scenes. And I'm really being drawn to like these magical little, really they're yods. They almost look like teardrops in this card. I'm being drawn to them because they just look really magical. I feel like this is universe working behind the scenes for you, working behind the scenes on your behalf. Things that you don't know about are forming up and coming to be. And then look, we kind of have confirmation of that really with our next card on Friday, the Wheel of Fortune. Now, the Wheel of Fortune says that you have prepared for some opportunities to come to you, even when maybe you weren't exactly sure that they could. And now those opportunities are coming in, and you get to do whatever you want to with them. Have a fantastic week.